It's Halloween night, and you've made it to the final stop on our 13 Nights of Halloween. Welcome back to the Average Reviews podcast, where we dig into horror from all angles. And tonight, we end things under the hot, haunting sun of Midsommar. I'm Tim.
And I'm Jonathan. And yes, we know it's Halloween, not Midsommar, but trust us, there's no better way to end our folk horror journey than with flower crowns, maypoles, and emotionally devastating rituals in broad daylight.
If you've been following along all October, you've already joined us for an unforgettable run through the darker woods of horror. The Witch, The Wicker Man, The Ritual, Blair Witch Project, Pumpkinhead, and more. Each one steeped in tradition, isolation, and the creeping fear that nature itself might be against you.
Or at least the locals definitely are.
Here at The Average, we don't just talk scares, we score them. Every film we cover is put through our multi-category breakdown. We judge the story, the acting, the originality, the script, and more, all to give you a final score out of 5 stars.
But we're not the only ones handing out judgments like a Harga elder with a mallet.
Dark but accurate, you can score the movies too using the templates on our Instagram. Pick your favorites, share your rankings, and let us know where we got it right or were we off.
So, light your jack-o'-lantern, toss on your favorite spooky sweater, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and drop your Midsommar score in the comments. Bonus points if it's written in runes.
From black goats and burning effigies to ancient woods and sun-drenched sacrifices, we have come full circle.
13 nights, 13 films, and one unforgettable finale. Let's head to Sweden.
This is Midsommar. And tonight, for Halloween, we are joined by the one and only Ricky from the Nightclub podcast. Ricky, awesome to have you.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. Look, I'm just, I'm here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. I just want to do some mushrooms, eat some food, see some cool shit, and then maybe go home and break up with my girlfriend. No big deal, right?
It sounds like a great time.
I don't want to end up, with my lungs falling out of my back or something,
And still functioning.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah. So before we break this one down category by category, let's talk a little more about how Ari Aster and his team brought this sunlit nightmare to life, because the behind the scenes on this one is just as fascinating as what made it to screen.
Yeah, this wasn't some quick turnaround indie. Aster knew exactly what he wanted, and somehow that included building an entire Swedish commune in Hungary.
That's right. The film was shot just outside Budapest. The crew built a village from the ground up, including all the buildings, shrines, maypoles, and ceremonial spaces. Every structure was designed according to this fictional culture's beliefs and traditions. Nothing was arbitrary.
Even the murals and the tapestries, those were hand-painted and filled with real symbols and coded storytelling. Aster worked with artists to build out the entire mythology of the Harga, from birth rituals to sacrifices.
And most of the film is shot in natural light, which I love. That meant long shooting days and a ton of challenges with timing, especially when you're trying to capture this dreamlike, sun-drenched dread. There's barely a night scene in the whole film.
Yeah, which is kind of genius. Most horror relies on shadows, but Midsommar throws all of that out. You see everything, and that somehow makes it worse. There's no place to hide.
Florence Pugh, who plays Danny, actually shot this right before going into production for Little Women, which is wild when you think about it. She's processing grief, betrayal, existential despair, and then a week later, she's playing Amy March.
Range, man. And fun fact, Midsommar was originally pitched as a straightforward slasher set during a Swedish festival, but after Hereditary, he was encouraged to go deeper, and it turned out into this hybrid of folk horror and emotional horror.
And you can feel that shift. There's brutality here, but it's not a body count movie. It's about how these deaths happen and why, what they symbolize. And that's where it hits hardest.
And apparently, Aster made the whole crew watch Black Narcissus and Macbeth before filming to get the mood right. So, light stuff.
Just a casual movie about nuns losing their minds and Shakespearean tragedy. But hey, it worked. The vibe is so specific, so immersive, it pulls you in before you even know how dark it's gotten.
And then it gets real dark, like cliff jumping, bear burning, rune carving dark.
And yet, beautiful. That's the contradiction that makes Midsommar unforgettable. It's disturbing and it's gorgeous. A breakup movie and a cult indoctrination. A horror film where grief is the real monster, but community is the lure.
So let's see how it holds up under the average microscope. Time to score it.
Here we go. So, starting off talking about this story.
Yeah, man. This one it's nuts how it starts off. You've got Florence Pugh in the state of emergency because of her sister who's got issues, and then this panic set dealing with a boyfriend who doesn't seem like he's still interested in being with her and on the fence about it, and then tragedy striking with the loss of her family due to like a combo murder suicide due to her sister's messed up just mind, and just you don't really get too much backstory on it, but it goes straight to this tragedy, and then going from there to dealing with her boyfriend, his fucked up friends, and this out of nowhere, like, hey, we're going to Sweden thing to work on our thesis kind of stuff, to go see this festival for our friend Pell, and then dropping your defenses to just kind of see what's going on in this commune, thinking everything's going to be cool, chill, a good time. And then it's slowly progressing to one horror after the next, wondering what's coming next and seeing how everyone deals differently with these different aspects of what's going on in this community. And then just kind of seeing how it builds up and where you see these little hints of where it's leading to. Until we get to the very end to kind of close out the story with Florence and how she kind of, has her sense of resolution and coming out of the grief at the end. It's so insane.
Yeah. I love the, said it in the intro, that kind of slasher characteristics exist, even though they're not the bones, they're not even the meat of this. They're kind of the dressing. Maybe that's not even accurate. They're there. We have a cast of like 6-ish, I didn't count, characters who come to this camp for a period of time. They one by one start to go missing. And while we're not seeing the slashing on camera, we're still getting that body count that's drifting to a final act body dump, which is another slasher trope. And even Will Poulter's character mentions that our final girl, Danny, is doesn't like sex. He says it at the beginning. So while she's not quite the typical slasher virgin, she doesn't like sex. So that's the modern interpretation of it. But I feel like there's other reasons why she's holding out on Christian. Maybe we'll get to that in character. But I like that that's there. I like how this story just starts super dark and heavy, and then we get to this moment like maybe there's hope here, and just the realization at the end that this is not the release we thought we were going to get, but it's still release. It's a very different type of release.
There's a few different types of releases in there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Christian got it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Ricky, you have anything to add to the story?
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like it's a really unique story. And I'm going to have trouble not talking about Danny's arc, but it is a big part of it. But I feel like the story is rather unique for a story about, people going to a place that they're not used to and they're uncomfortable, and then they start disappearing one at a time. For a movie about that, it's actually got a lot going on, and I feel like Aster tells you things about the characters and about the story in subtle ways. One of them is after they first get to the Harga village, when they drink the mushroom tea, you see the roots in her hand, like they're growing up. The grass is growing into her hand, and I feel like it's sort of Aster's way of telling you that, since Danny's lost basically her whole family, she's looking for somewhere to belong, looking for somewhere to put roots down, and she doesn't have that in Christian. We know that because Christian is emotionally inept. He was going to break up with her, but then he decided not to because he was worried about hurting her more. And I feel like if this is a morality tale, then that's definitely the biggest sin of the film. That's the point your finger, like it's because of this, and it sucks because I don't think he means ill intent. I don't think he means harm, but at the same time, he's definitely careless and self-absorbed, and I don't know why I jumped into character right there, but yeah. I feel like the story's interesting enough, even considering all the elements that are very familiar.
Yeah, and well, let's go ahead. We'll give the story, and we can dive into that character a little bit more because that'll be a good jumping off point for that one. So, Ricky, Jonathan, you're muted.
Ruh-roh.
Check the screen.
How did I get muted? I have no idea how that happened. I must have hit something on accident.
Scores for... I'm a 4. I think the story is pretty great. I do think even though he says it wasn't influenced by the Wicker Man, there's clearly Wicker Man influence.
Big time Wicker Man, yeah.
Yeah.
And you were talking earlier about this being maybe a more realized version of that, and I was agreeing with you when you dropped out.
Oh yeah. So before we dropped out, I said, and sure, hate on me for this all you want, I don't exactly love the original Wicker Man movie. I don't love the remake either. But I can appreciate it, but I do feel like Midsommar kind of perfects what the Wicker Man set out to do. So
I think the remake... Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. The remake is great for all kinds of different reasons.
Yeah. The remake is great because it's Nicolas Cage being crazy and it's a goofy movie. But I do like the OG one. But I feel like it's so on the nose. I think at the time it probably had to be on the nose to reach a broader audience and make more people understand it. But I do feel like the lead character is very square. He's very square. He's
police detective,
a man of the time. He's a conservative. Yeah. He's all these things going to a place that is the opposite of him. And
that place is like a softcore porno.
Right. It just feels very on the nose to me. And so I get what you're saying, because this movie puts you in that uncomfortable place as a more relatable character, just someone grieving, and I kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah, I agree with that big time. Yeah. Better than Wicker Man.
I'm a 4 on story.
I'm a 5. I'm actually a 5 on story.
Hey,
nice. I'm a 4 also.
Okay. All right, so the next category, then diving into that character that we were talking about, we have some great ones in this. Our lead, Danny, and Florence Pugh, who suffers from tragic loss at the beginning, and to put it lightly, Ari Aster has now put on screen some of the most I still don't know how to say it. They just
gruesome grief.
burn in your brain self-unalivings that I've ever seen. We have Hereditary, where the mom saws her own head off with a wire. We have in this one the sister who connects hoses to the exhaust of car.
Two cars.
Because one of them splits and goes to mom and dad's bedroom. She was at least nice enough to put that under the door. And then she tapes the other one directly to her face. So that's something that's burned in your brain that's hard to get out.
No doubt. Aster really gets imagery. He really gets it. Like, yes,
he does.
Because in every one, I haven't seen Beau is Afraid, but in every movie, the shots. I mean, it's It's like he's a photographer, you know.
Yep. Oh, 100%. And then in Beau is Afraid, the daughter of a couple in that film drinks paint, and like you're talking about, imagery. Of course, is an Ari Aster film. It's not going to be like beige that she drinks. It's this vibrant blue paint that comes out of her. It's very vivid. It burns in your brain. But yeah, it's those three scenes are just like, man, they are just so tragic in every one of them. So we have Danny who's dealing with that. Her sister killed her parents and then took herself out in a horrific manner.
Yeah.
And she's dealing with that. She's dealing with her boyfriend, Christian, who's just... you were saying earlier, you don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. He is trying to do the right thing.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to leave her in this moment. But in conversations that we've seen with his friends, he wanted to leave her before. He just is waiting for the right time. But she's so involved in this. Her was it bipolar?
Her sister's bipolar.
Yeah. But she has this bipolar sister, and so every time he feels like it's the right time to get ready to leave, something happens with his sister.
Crisis.
Yes. Yeah. And she feels guilty for bringing him into that. He is overwhelmed by it, wants to leave it. It's just not working out. And he makes a mistake of just letting it keep going and letting it keep going. And then he digs a hole that he never will get out of. But there's
a bear-shaped hole.
A bear-shaped hole.
Yeah.
Even the supporting characters are... I'm spacing on the names. Will Poulter's character is Mark.
Forehead. Yeah.
Forehead, eyebrow guy. He's great as just kind of like the comic relief for the film. He's the funny one. We have Josh, who is the intellectual of the group, and if you're not sure, his very first lines of the movie are very intellectual.
Yeah, big time.
And he maintains that character, and I actually really like his character. He's a great character.
Serious researcher. He's got real intent. He knows what he wants to do, has a whole plan until he gets fucked over.
Yeah, by Christian. So that's the moment that I'm like, yeah, Christian sucks, but
and this shows you that Christian doesn't just suck at being a boyfriend. He sucks at a lot of stuff.
He sucks at being a friend, period.
He's not necessarily a bad person. He just sucks at everything he does. Like he sucks at every relationship that he has, right?
Or maybe he's not intentionally evil.
Right.
Lack
there
of
you
awareness and just kind of a dumbass.
Just lack of awareness is the best way to put. He just does not think about anything other than himself.
No, when he goes into, I already forgot the guy's name. Sam? Josh. When he goes into Josh and it's like, hey, Josh, I think I'll write my doctorate or my thesis on this community that we're staying in. And Josh is like,
Excuse you.
That's what I was doing.
Right.
He's like, no, you're going to go to all these other places. Blah, blah. Like, yeah, but this is whole part of it. You shit.
Yeah. He's like, well, I already got permission, so we can collaborate on it if you want. It's like, okay.
Work your own shit, you lazy fucking bastard.
Yeah, get out of here.
I was super pissed at that. I was like, you scumbag. That's just, what an asshole move.
The next step would have been, hey, bro, you mind if I copy your homework, bro?
Might as well. Yeah.
Straight up.
I want to pick it up. I might, because my Walmart still has it. There was a director's cut of Midsommar that is 27 minutes longer.
Jesus.
This is already a long film.
It's already 2.5 hours, yeah.
I wonder what's in it, though.
I know, right?
It's also NC-17.
Oh crap. Okay.
So
hopefully it's not more tush pushing. That was awful.
It's probably some more tush pushing, probably some more grotesqueries.
Yeah.
But apparently I was reading some of the differences, and one of the things it does is develop this relationship a little bit more, this Christian and his friends, and kind of being a knobgoblin with all his friends. It kind of develops that a little bit more. And so I'm definitely, this is a movie that I actually want to see the director's cut, because there's so much detail in every frame of this film.
That makes sense.
I want to see more. Yeah, it was originally given an NC-17 rating, and then they cut it down because obviously NC-17 doesn't do well at the box office.
Right.
So they cut it down to an R rating, which I'm like, you left quite a bit in there. I can't imagine what else there is.
I really want to see that now.
I do too.
Same.
So I might run to Walmart, because that's the only place I've literally been able to find the director's cut.
I'm really interested in exploring his relationship to his friends, because now that you mention it, it's like every one of them except Pele has some kind of beef with him, And
Pele is just too nice.
And Pele's got motives,
Yeah, also Pele knows he's
so innocent seeming.
Pele knows what is about to happen. So.
Oh yeah, Pele's a little snake in the grass, I guess. Yeah.
Nice guy artist.
Kanai.
Do you get the feeling that he knew nothing would happen to Danny?
Oh yeah, it seems so unsuspecting, because it's like, oh, I'm so glad that you're actually coming with us.
Right.
There's something underlying there in that moment, and before they actually get to Sweden, and then as it plays on and how he's so sensitive with her.
Yeah.
Despite,
right. Because at first you're just like, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, I'm bad for that. But at first you're like, okay, this dude likes her,
Yes.
And maybe that's where this is going. But you find out it goes deeper than that. Like, I do think he likes her. I mean, that's obvious. But it's a little different.
He was also out to pull the biblical King David and have her boyfriend killed so he could be with her.
Right.
So that...
It's like, hey, my sister likes you. Why don't you bang her?
You know what? Okay, you know what? I wonder if that was... Okay, it's all falling into place now. So Pele had originally invited the guys to go, not Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And then Danny was like, surprised as Christian, is like, you know what? Yeah, I think it'd be good for me. I'll go with you. And all the guys are like, fuck. But
Tension in the room of it. Like, does she really got to come with us? Like, dude.
Right.
yeah, I love it when Will Poulter's character goes, can I talk to you outside? Can I Christian?
Can I show you this paragraph?
Yeah, Christian.
He's
Almost
like,
forgets his laptop,
Yeah.
I like when he's like, so did you break up with her? And he just kind of puts his head down and he's like, she's coming with us.
It's so funny.
So she's probably not going to go. She said she might. She's probably not going to go. She's not going to go. And then she was like, I guess I'm going.
Yep. But it makes sense now that Pele invited all of them knowing they weren't going to return home. So he could still have Danny when he returned home.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm so glad you're coming. New blood into the commune,
Uh-huh. And they're all for that new blood in that commune.
Makes sense.
They put Christian to good use. That way they don't get any more oracles.
Until it's intentionally done, as they say.
Until it's
film.
planned out.
Golly.
That is the other slightly slasherish element of this is that they give us a couple red herrings.
Right.
On, like, you watch enough 70s and 80s slashers, and it's always the misunderstood. Not always. I shouldn't say always. There's a couple good twists. But it's usually like the misunderstood outcast.
Mm-hmm.
And in this commune, the misunderstood outcast is the Oracle, who is kind of this voyeur character who watches everything but participates in nothing.
Innocent, just bystander, freed from the regular thoughts of everybody else.
Yeah.
And is just doing his own art thing that they interpret into the Restalt, whatever the book is.
That's refrigerator material there, bud.
Yeah, it is. Some good finger painting.
So scary.
They own some good shit over there, bro. They look at those shitty paintings that boy does, and they're like, "Yeah, this is the Bible to us now."
We're gonna drink
all these rooms from darkest or from lightest to dark and shit.
We're gonna drink this tea and interpret this finger painting. Ready?
Right.
This means we need to kill 7 more virgins.
Right. This finger painting's telling me I need to change my life.
It definitely says we should hollow out a bear. Oh, speaking of the bear, this goes under a script category, but I like how they're like kind of walking around getting the tour of the compound, and one of the characters goes, "Are we not going to talk about the bear?" And Pele goes, "It's a bear," and then they just move on.
It's like, okay, like what, dude? It's there, so what?
That's it. It's so funny, but the character arc in this movie is it's very subtle, but we do get Danny dealing with that tragedy that we already mentioned.
Right.
But kind of coming to her own and finding her own strength to rise above it. And it comes from unexpected places. It's not what I think any of us quite anticipate going into this film.
No.
And I don't think it's at all what she anticipated going into this journey.
No, because even she's horrified at first when you get the first real impactful scene of...
Impactful.
Yeah. When you get that first real impact, she is mortified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I put in my notes, I was like, Danny is always crying. She is always crying for like the first half of the film. She seems to be in tears. And then she's in tears most of the film, honestly, which part of me is like a small part of me started to feel for Christian at some point. So I'm like, dude, she's crying again. But
what do you expect when she's dealing with this shit, and then seeing like all this giant family as a community, and then all the other small mentions of family while she's still processing her shit.
Right.
It's hard.
Well, she's processing losing her family, everybody she had, really. So
and it sounds like she didn't have. It sounds like her family connection wasn't strong to begin with, and we already know her connection to Christian wasn't strong. So
Yeah.
this girl, and maybe I'm inferring too deeply, but this girl's been searching to belong somewhere in a sense, to be validated and all this other shit for a lot longer than the runtime of the movie. And yeah, man, I think that's where the majority of her character growth comes from. Because at first she's scared of it, but as we see later on, she
embraces it.
she takes to it like a duck in water.
Yeah, once they start involving her in the processes of what they're doing, they're distracting her from all that stuff and making her feel something more and something different than just the grief by slowly drawing her into the community.
And it's
by
so
getting
subtle.
her into the dances and the cooking and how to make the stuff,
right,
and all of the different activities that they got going on, and then becoming, the May Queen, and then like everything. And while she's super fucking tripping balls, now she just kind of runs with it and starts to feel it. Even at one point where they're doing the maypole dance to choose the May Queen, and it's like she's tripping so hard that she thinks she's speaking their language.
Right.
But it's like she's speaking, like the other girl's speaking back. And it's like somehow she's like, all of a sudden she can speak the Swedish tongue. And they can communicate. It's crazy.
I think it's all brilliantly symbolic and written. I don't know if Aster wrote it all himself, but, brilliantly written by Aster.
Well, and like you mentioned, it's so subtle. They slowly bring her in. Like, you don't even think about, like, they wake up, step outside, and one of the leaders is there and says, all right, guys, you're going to go this way. And then Danny, you're going to join the girls over there.
Right.
And the guys are just going to observe something. Danny is going to participate in something.
That's a good point.
And it's so, like, you don't even think about it. You're just watching it, and they're slowly bringing her in, keeping the guys separate. It's brilliant. Also, when they take her in to make the meat pies, is the meat pie their friend?
Well, it seems so unsuspecting, and it seems normal, except with Pelle's sister, the redhead, who is falling in love with Christian. It's clearly she selects him. And they begin that whole process. Everyone else seems to have normal food, but he's got the one with the hair pie and the menstrual drink.
Who's the first character to disappear? Is it it's the British couple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the guy disappears first.
Gotcha.
And we do see. I think he's the one whose lungs are pulled out of his body while he's still alive.
Yeah, he's hanging out his back while he's suspended.
Blood-eagled.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have no idea what that was about. That's one of those things, like, I want to know more about that. It's probably in a painting on the wall. Could be in a director's cut.
There's so many tells from just the imagery, from what's inside the buildings and the pictures and the tapestries. There's so many hints throughout that early part, and as the story continues, that kind of clue you in into what's going on and what's going to happen before it actually does. And then seeing how that affects each of those characters and how they're involved in the different ways. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a real execution method too that was used back in the day.
Really?
During medieval times. It's a Viking thing, man. They did that to punish traitors and stuff like that. They would just basically cut your lungs out of your back, but they wouldn't puncture them, and they would just leave them presumably after they beat the living shit out of you, and you actually died from suffocating because your diaphragm doesn't push on your lungs. So,
wow,
which is interesting that they would just do this to this random guy because but in the Nordic culture, it's like a horrible.
Well, they had the sacrifices of 9, as they were stating at the end when they're talking about all of that, and how you see how each of the characters, how like all of like Christian and his friends are involved in these sacrifices. Because Pelle's friend, he brings that couple. It's like they clearly send people out into the world to scout people to bring in for the festival as these sacrifices.
Yeah. Which
Man,
I think
everyone
maybe
spoke.
you're right. Maybe they do eat the people because later on we see what is his name? Mark. Isn't Mark's leg just sticking out of the ground or something silly?
Josh's leg is sticking
Josh's
out.
leg is sticking out of the ground. But then
Gets it back later, it seems, though, at the end when they're putting him in the sacred triangle
Right.
building.
yeah, but Mark, we only see his face.
Right.
We don't know. I don't know what happened to Mark's body, but Mark dies after the meat pie eating scene.
After
but
the tree pissing scene. After
After the
pisses
tree
on their
pissing,
dead.
the sacred
God,
tree.
the
man.
ancestral
I love
tree.
that.
It's our ancestral tree in the ashes of our dead. And you're pissing all over
I
it.
love-
He's like, "Whoa, I didn't know."
I love
It's
the
like, "You
guy's
son of a bitch."
dialogue, dude. The little closed caption at the bottom. He's like, "Get your filthy American dick away from our tree." It's like-
Which even that goes in a direction I can't go into that. I just had this distinct feeling that she's putting her pubes in that meat pie when she's making it. The redhead girl.
Yeah, she got the love rune under Christian's bed. Then there's the meat pie, and then you see the discoloration of the drink
Right.
when they say the table, which is
Got
already
the
kind of
whole spell.
foretold in those tapestries.
Yeah.
Right.
That you see before
And
you get to it.
And those are all things that are tied to real, like, ritual magic and shit. So, yeah.
It's well researched, but then that is where I just got this feeling. I was like, I feel like they're eating one of their friends, one of the people who've already disappeared.
I feel
Very
like
well
that's
could
possible,
be.
especially with Mark.
I think if
but
they
Mark
should have.
ate those pies. That's what's confusing.
Oh wait, no, that's right. Yeah, he was at dinner. That's right.
Yep.
Never mind. My bad.
But then I don't know, and I could be making it up. It could just be a feeling I had watching it. But I was like, they're eating human.
Well, they didn't seem like they were cannibalistic.
But we didn't really see any like livestock either.
Right.
You got a point though, but they have the chicken coop and then other stuff
they did
like
have the
that.
chicken
and then you
coop,
see
yeah.
the fish, the salted herring, and some other stuff that's laid out on the table. But
I
you see
wonder what
like
a
veggie
salted
stuff.
herring meat pie tastes like.
I wonder
Ew.
where the salted herring comes from.
Well, they try to get Danny to eat it like it's a joke for the luck thing, and she's like, while she's fucking drugged
Oh,
up,
yeah,
and
yeah.
May Queen style, like, and she's
Yep.
like, and the fish flops off, and they're like all laughing about it.
Yep,
But it's
that
like
checks out.
It's weird how like each character, like they don't really have an arc necessarily. Like Josh is an aspiring researcher, wants to do this thing about all these different cultures and ceremonies and stuff, and wants to go off and do all this thing, and like his greed for this information, gets him killed in the end. Ultimately, even though he was already intended to be a sacrifice, it's like his greed for that knowledge though just kind of led it to it faster. Mark in his idiocy and ignorance,
Lack of
getting
respect
fucked up a little bit faster
and awareness. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Christian, just like him, just being a jagbag, like oh god, him being picked out by the sister. It's everyone he's getting their little own, and like the British couple, the freak out spasm after the two eldest people end up doing their thing for the ritual. It's crazy how each one like not much arc, but it's still kind of like a weird tinge to it, and like how there is kind of in the ending of them. But Danny overall is like. She's got the whole arc with, kind of being freed from all of the emotional stress and everything with the family and ultimately becoming part of the community, as
Right.
you see at the end, which is amazing. And then Pele, like he just continues on, and he's almost like, it seems like he's almost kind of like a prince of the community for bringing a new May Queen, bringing a new woman in,
Mm-hmm.
It's like a hero.
and helping bring these sacrifices, to help continue with their traditions that have been going on for centuries. As you can see from all the different books in the one room.
So many. All finger paintings.
And there are like thousands of these books lining the walls on both sides. It's
Right.
nuts, man.
No pictures.
No.
little sign out front. No, I agree. Also, I do think each of those side characters has an arc, strangely, because they each have their kind of Achilles heel,
Their faults.
their fault. But, and I'm sure it's there, I gotta watch closer again and again, but each death seems to line up with something they did. Some kind of character trait that they display, and then that is how they're taken out. And I think that in itself is a little bit of an arc, kind of in its unique way. Like, trying to think of who a good one is. So Mark says something earlier. He's kind of a womanizer. We get that, at least in his words, because he says early on he'd like to give that girl a bath. But then the last time we see him is when she stands up from the table and kind of nods at him like, come with me.
Right.
Let me show you.
Yep.
Like, doesn't really say what she's going to show him.
Nope. And then the next time we see him, it's just his face on a scarecrow. Like, so they're all related a little bit. So for me, I actually, even if the character arcs aren't exactly redemptive and positive, I gave these character arcs a 5.
I don't remember what I gave mine, and it's not necessarily a great time to bring this up, but it closed out on my phone, and it didn't bring me back to the same page. It wants me to.
You were a 4.
I'm a 4. So okay, I'm good. I'm comfortable at a 4.
I went with a 3, but I'm changing mine to a 4.
Okay. All right. So on to the music and sound design for this
folky commune music.
I feel like the music is like above average, but only because of a few key points where like you really hear that whatever that Norse violin type instrument is. I think it might even be called a hurdy-gurdy or something stupid like that.
Exactly.
When you hear that, dude, like that thing just sounds old and ancient and beautiful.
Fluteness.
And there's like it's not super memorable, but I guess it's subdued is what I'm trying to get at. It feels subdued, but at times it just ramps up. I feel like it matches the pace, the scene very well. The scenes in particular.
So what I think is so unique about this soundtrack is, we get like the Swedish folk music, sounds great, and it's appropriate. But what stood out to me watching it is one of the things that makes some of these scenes so unsettling is the beautiful, like, peaceful music while these men are burning alive. It's not horrific shrieking violins or whatever.
Right.
It's a soft, serene, peaceful, like, music of the valley while this guy is burning alive, or while it's actually dead silent when the two elders jump off a cliff to their deaths. But some of the most horrific scenes, the intro has the kind of not shrieking guitar, but kind of the more typical of what we expect from a horror movie. But that ending, when the fire starts and they're all just sitting there, and it's peaceful, beautiful music, and it's so weird. It's so weird, and I think that's what leads to the discomfort. The other thing is the sound effects themselves are, I want to say, insanely realistic. Like, we don't get the Toxic Avenger crunching of the skull in this movie.
Right.
It's almost less impactful in the sound. It's soft.
It's like wet.
Yeah.
It's like a wet thumping thud.
Yeah, instead of a watermelon crunch.
Right.
It's not quite the exaggerated sound. It almost seems more realistic. And I think that goes to make you a little bit more uncomfortable. So I think the sound design is done really well, especially multiple times when you hear one of our characters screaming in the distance or in the background. You can, or like when Danny comes out after blessing the crops or whatever after the May Queen Festival, and she hears the sounds of Christian and that girl coming.
Mm-hmm.
The tush pushing.
Yeah, the tush pushing.
Yeah.
She hears that from a distance, and that is done really well. Or
because that chanting they're doing is very musical.
It's weird. It's uncomfortable, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of breathy sound in their music notes and how they're talking with some of the stuff throughout that.
So what I noticed is on multiple times, because we get that scene when she's climaxing and they're all repeating her same sound.
Mm-hmm.
They're all repeating it in their voices. Or when Danny hears that and runs away and starts sobbing, the women surround her and start repeating that same sound in their voices. So we get this like communal
sharing of pain.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're sharing each other's pain, but they're also sharing in each other's pleasure.
Yeah.
So they share these emotions, and we see that. I think the first time we see that is when the guy jumps from the cliff and is unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Oh God, we break his
is.
legs.
Yeah.
Because everyone's screaming at the same time.
Everyone starts screaming with him.
And this goes back to her arc, man. This is her finding exactly the community that I guess in a way she needs.
Yeah. It's so weird.
They're just here for you emotionally, man.
The very beginning kind of threw me off though, because with that kind of like old school like papyrus book writing kind of stuff, like you get that weird fairy tale tinkle of music and then it cuts straight to real life urban setting.
Yeah.
Really threw me off. It was kind of weird.
That is a little jarring. It's an Ari Aster thing though. He has unique ways of telling his stories. Like Hereditary, the mom, is it the mom or the grandma does the little dolls houses?
The mom, she
miniatures.
Does miniature stuff. Yep.
So like he'll zoom in on the miniature house and then the scene will transit. It's brilliant. It's so
gorgeous.
Good.
Good. And I love man, we got to talk Hereditary one day. Because just the storytelling alone that he uses with those miniatures, by showing you stuff with the miniatures instead of showing you on screen is so brilliant, man.
I don't enjoy Hereditary because it's not an enjoyable film.
I love it.
It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. I know. Yeah. But I do think that film is a masterpiece. I think
Absolutely.
It's so good. But not to talk about Hereditary.
Right.
Which is so good. But yeah, he has unique ways of telling it. We'll talk about more in direction. But when it comes to the sound design, we covered a lot from the music, sound effects, to the way this community uses sound together to express emotions and pain and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I bumped mine up to a 5. I can't. There's no identifying theme. It's a 4.5. 4.5.
I think I came in at a 4.
I'm a 4 on the music sound design.
Yeah.
Okay. So then off to the next one, which I don't know.
Editing and special effects. Hot damn.
Which this is insane because there's very little. Okay, I'll go to editing. My favorite editing part on this film, the fact that most of it was shot with natural lighting.
Yeah.
Insane and beautiful. You can see it. Like there are times when Danny steps in front of the sun and her face isn't perfectly lit like someone stepping in front of the sun would be. And it adds to this realism that is part of what makes this movie off-putting. The sun-drenched, like we said in the intro, there's no getting away from this. There's no hiding it in the shadows. We are bringing it all to the light, and it's intense. I love that part of the editing. Aster knows how to transition a scene in a unique way. There's that scene early on where she's talking to Pell, and Pell's like, "Oh, I lost my parents too," and she starts to get flustered and stands up to go to the bathroom. Overhead shot. Love overhead shots, but it follows her through a doorway, and on the other side of the doorway is the airplane bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing scene transition. He does that a lot. He does great stuff like that. So I'm not even sure. Is there's special effects during her little dream sequence?
Yeah, and
other than that, it's
smoke.
mostly practical. Yeah,
right.
and
Yeah,
it all
it's
looks so good.
mostly, and it's in little tricks here and there. Like when she goes to that little, it almost looks like a damn outhouse when they first arrive, and you see her sister in the reflection of the mirror really
Yeah, it
fast.
kind of freaked me out.
There's parts where you see her sister's face superimposed on the tree line as they're carrying her. Once she becomes a May Queen, there's just little things like that, and I think they're used for storytelling purposes to just kind of get you in her headspace.
Yeah.
And
Someone wants to play.
right,
She's trying to tear up my socks.
sap upper. But there's also the fucking watermelon head from the old man.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty gnarly.
It's such a good effect.
Yeah, it looks gross.
It looks gross. It looks so real. I appreciate the fact that the gore isn't insane with that scene. Like they just didn't splatter red everywhere because that makes it feel more realistic. I know there's probably gore hounds out there who's like, "Oh, you can whatever." I'm like, no, but I've got Twitter. I've seen people get like it's not as bloody as we see on movies.
Right.
Oh, dude, with that woman though, when she takes that first plunge onto the flat rock and her face just kind of explodes out when she hits the rock, dude. Oh my god,
brutal.
woo.
Yeah.
That was like, dude, the detail in that and the bits of bone and how everything's just kind of exploded out with the eye and everything. That was amazing.
Yeah,
that looked really good, and it's not. And like you're saying, it's not like super spray city going on.
Right.
It's very localized to where the impact was on the rock and then off.
Yeah.
You know, and then the guy, and then the man, the elder man next, and is just the broken legs while he survived.
The broken legs.
And it transitions from his face down to where you see that leg twisted back, broken, and the bones sticking out and everything. It's like, oh my gosh.
So a couple years ago, if I had seen that, I might have passed out at that scene. Like I might have just done me in because broken bones do that for me.
Yeah.
But I am at the point in my horror movie experience where I appreciate, as weird as this sounds, I appreciate the art in those gory moments because a practical effect like that, somebody made those prosthetics.
Someone made that shit, dude.
Yeah. And they made it look real, and that is impressive. That looks so good. Even the lungs being pulled outside of the body, that scene is beautifully done.
Still inflating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Poulter's face being worn by the Oracle at one point.
Was it the Oracle? I couldn't tell who it was because it you could see both normal eyes where the Oracle kind of had one kind of swollen shut.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like maybe the guy that he pissed off was the one
wearing his face. There you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Even as little as it is, man, it disturbs me just like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Certain deaths always when they twitch after they die, when
You're talking about the hammer kill.
yeah, the hammer
dude.
kill, when he gets
Josh,
Best
when
kill.
Josh
in the
gets
records hole.
bashed, yeah, when he gets bashed on the head, and then he's just laying there like twitching.
You're making little noises,
And the
stuff,
way it's
Yep.
shot
still
is
alive,
so
like,
good because you just see his legs, bro, just fucking kicking.
Those are always so upsetting. But yeah, man, editing, effects from scene transitions to the kills, masterfully done. It's like, if you told me this was Ari Aster's second real movie, he did a short before he did Hereditary.
Have y'all ever seen it?
Dude, I've heard it is messed up.
Not in the way you're thinking, but yeah.
No, it's a son.
Do you know? Do you know? Don't spoil it if you know, because Jonathan should watch it and be like blindsided because it's fucked up.
Okay, yeah,
I haven't seen a lot of Ari Aster movies. I got a lot of catching up to do. I was told to watch a lot of the A24 stuff because that's a lot of him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. You can find it.
So if you told me that this was his second film ever, if you told me Hereditary was his first film, I'd be like, shut up.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's not. Get out of here. No, it's not. Because this is a tour de force of every part coming together. So it is impressive. But yeah, so for me, I did a lot of
Misbehaving.
other comments.
God, man, there's something else I was going to talk about.
I feel like we had a good back and forth on that one.
Oh, dude, when you see them getting Christian ready, when you see them, the one of the elders teaching the boys about how to remove the organs from the bear, and you see all that, taking all that out. Dude, when they put him up on the table, I totally thought they were going to do him the same way and gut him out. I didn't guess for a second they were going to stuff him inside the dead bear. It blew my mind. I'm like, what? Oh my God. Okay.
But honestly,
next level of something else. Like, holy crap.
It would fit with them. He's like teaching them to disembowel the bear, and then they just plop Christian up there and it's like, all right, boys, show me it. Do it on him.
No, instead they just send him to Valhalla with a fucking permanent bear onesie.
You know what though? Special effects though. After Danny drinks the mixture to do the dance and stuff, where she's getting all stoned up, the effects of everything in the background,
all the trippiness,
the swell, even her headdress, the flower puckering in and out, like it's breathing, all of that through most of that end of the film. From once that point hits, you still see so much of that in the environment. And I was like, dude, that is cool.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, because even when they even go to sit at the table, like the turkey on the table is fluctuating. It's
like everything's breathing as part of nature.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I was a 5 on this category.
So was I.
Yep. Yeah. There's no flaws to be found on this one. It's impeccable. So on to script.
I liked the script. I liked how they went with it, with the dialogue from the first part of everyone explaining what's going on, trying to talk about between Christian and Danny and letting go of her, and what's leading up to the trip. And then a lot of it of like the explanation of what's going on with Pele trying to tell his friends and kind of clue them in as to what's going on in like his kind of deceptive way, and then like especially how he tries to comfort Danny with it being her birthday, especially, and trying to talk her into stuff.
Christian forgot.
I know,
dude,
asshole.
Straight up, what the fuck?
With the sun, I thought it was yesterday.
But there's a lot of interesting dialogue, especially when you see the community going through the ceremonies, especially like at the opener on the big round dais and talking about what's going on with, the Dark One and then the dancing ritual. There's so much dialogue in there as far as script goes with explaining what's going on in the community. As part of the festival, I really dug that a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot of back and forth too. Like like kind of like what you were saying earlier with the characters doing something and then you get to them disappearing. I feel like the pacing in this is done really well. There's always something to worry about. You know what I mean? Aside from the fact that we're in bumfuck Sweden and people are disappearing. There's always something.
Here's a great place to vacation.
It's Christian forgetting about her birthday. It's Christian not being there. It's fucking what's his name pissing on the tree. It's the girl kicking Christian on the butt to try to get him to chase her. There's just always something going on. Everything feels very meticulous and important. The only thing I would maybe say would be maybe an afterthought would be the extra couple. They do feel a little bit like less important, like they were just there to add to the body count, possibly. Which I could forgive that. I can forgive that because I don't care. But I feel like the script. I feel like just the writing and the flow of the movie is damn near perfect. So
I like that one line though when they're sitting down with the pies and like Christian finds the hair and they're like, ugh, and then Mark's just like, why are you embarrassed? You're not the one giving out hair pies.
I think the movie is really well written. It borders on National Geographic at times, like more about the culture. And it's not necessarily poetic. Like there's not deep insights into grief that are happening in the dialogue. It is an exploration of community and how that affects everything. And so there's no like, wow, that line really hit me. I don't feel that with this movie. Like, wow, that line was really powerful. If you, like Hereditary had that. Hereditary, but it's a much more intimate and personal story in Hereditary. But this one is just missing that little bit of like, I don't want to say quotability because like Family Guy is quotable, but it's not, it's not powerful. This is missing like that little bit of emotional resonance in the script. I think it does a great job handling a lot of the topics. There's just that little bit of emotional element that I would like to have in there. So, I mean, like last Halloween, the three of us were talking about House of Wax with Vincent Price, which had some poetic bangers of lines in it. And that's what, like, I'm missing just that little bit of that. Even if there was one line from somebody about like, well, Danny, this is where you've been to where you are now. Something like that. But Ari chooses to tell it all visually. So that's okay. But for me, I'm a 4 on the script.
Yeah, I'm feeling a 4.
Same.
A strong 4. Maybe a 4.5, but I'm not willing to commit. I'm being very Christian about it.
You're being very Christian about it, yeah. I can't commit to this one. So the acting, though, who can commit to this one is Florence Pugh. I think she does a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's great. I can't wait to see her in, well, we record these out of order if you don't follow us on Facebook. But I'm going to see Thunderbolts tomorrow because she's in that one.
Yeah, so, Teresa really wants to see it too.
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what? I'll watch anything she's in. She's great.
It's the first Marvel movie I've seen since Deadpool, and I don't really count that one. So it's the first Marvel movie I've seen since Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness came out.
I still want to watch that one.
That one left a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I haven't
Even
kept
with
up.
the Rames?
Wait, did Ant-Man come out after that?
I don't think so. I think Ant-Man came out
Ant-Man
before.
was so bad. Ant-Man, it was so
And
bad.
like the miniverse or whatever it was.
Yeah, Quantum Mania. Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that one. Yeah, I didn't watch that one yet.
It was hot garbage, and so I went to see Deadpool Wolverine because it's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, like
Oh,
that's why.
so good.
Fucks.
Yep, that's why I went to that one.
Yes.
But
So good.
Thunderbolts is actually the first one to me that looks worth a trip to the movie theaters
Yeah.
again. So, anyways, but yeah, Florence Pugh is fantastic. Like I said, she cries too much in this movie, but I get it. I get
Mhm.
why. I get why, but it is a lot of crying. I just kind of wanted to see her happy
Yeah.
at some moment, just to add some range. And we get little hints of it here and there. Christian is kind of one note,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's just his character or his performance. I think Will Poulter is great as the comic relief. William Jackson Harper, who plays Josh, is really good. Josh,
I felt bad for him, man.
yeah, he's one of my standout characters. I really like the character of Josh in this film.
Same.
But one of my other favorite characters is Pele,
Yeah.
played by Wilhelm Blomgren. I think he's awesome, even though he's like, "Hey, I brought you all here to die." But
Right.
but I'm like, I kind of like Pele because I feel like he genuinely cares about Danny,
Yeah.
and he's not like, I don't think he's like, "Hey, I'm bringing you all here." He might be like, "I'm bringing you all here to die because you're all crappy humans," but he is also from that culture where like, this is what we do. This is just part of life. It's the circle of life.
It's totally normal for him.
Yep. I love when he is explaining, because strangely enough, it makes sense to me, the 4 seasons of life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When he's like, from birth to 18 is spring,
Yep.
18 to whatever, 32
It's like your
is summer. Yeah, summer,
Right.
then you have your fall, and then your winter goes to like 72 or whatever. And then at 72, you die.
Right.
And they're like, they just think it's a joke.
Yeah,
I
they
love
think he's
that.
kidding.
They're
Being
just
serious.
right.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, you're about to see they're going to jump off this really tall cliff, and that's what happens on your 72nd birthday." But part of me was like, "Hey, that actually makes some sense." I really did resonate with the line about like, we put people in nursing homes. I'm sure
Right.
that's weird to them, and I've had 2 experiences with nursing homes lately. One with my grandfather and one with my wife's great grandfather. One of them, beautiful nursing home, great facility. Second one, I was like, this is a nightmare. Never put me in this.
Hmm.
And so
My grandfather
kinda-
died in one, man, from malpractice.
that's what
You
I
know,
mean.
straight up. They left a catheter in that man too long.
What?
Yeah. Straight up, dude.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they just sucked. They just suck. They
Yeah,
left a
and that's
catheter in him, and he got an infection and died, dude. Straight up.
So there are some that are very good,
Right.
but then there are others that are a living nightmare.
Yep.
And so when he's talking about like, yeah, at 72, we just kind of draw the line. And I'm like,
I kind of get it, dude.
I kind of get it.
I kind of get it for real. Like,
Yep.
dying,
I drove.
dying. Like, there's just something horrible about getting to a certain point where you can't take care of yourself.
Yep.
Who
And
wants that indignity?
and you
Yes.
exactly. And
You're
there's almost
Pooping your pants again. You're,
yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
you think I want to live if I can't like go just get up and go check the mail? Like, come on,
Right.
man. I don't want to just rot in a bed. You know.
I'll probably never forget till the day I die. I was my grandfather's closest living relative in his final months, but I picked him up from the hospital to take him to the nursing home. And one of the last things, and I visited a ton during that time, but because he was only in the nursing home to recover, but we knew that, that's not the case. But I took him to a nursing home, and I pulled up to the door, and he said to me before I got out of the car, just kind of like a train of thought, he goes, that you should never live this long. Because he was 95.
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
And he's just like, the last couple of years weren't great.
Yeah.
You know, he's not having a good time. And he genuinely was like, I hope you never live to get to where I am.
Yeah.
And I wasn't taking that as like, that's, wow, I'm so sorry, Grandpa. Like, that's not how I took it. But like, that's why when he's talking about like at 72, we voluntarily leave.
Right.
And I hate saying that there's something beautiful about that. Sounds weird, but it's also,
I think it just sounds weird to our modern sensibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
you see people living to like 102 now or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, but when,
right.
do I want that?
Right, dude. Like sometimes I'm tired of it and I'm 38.
Exactly.
And I'm ready to go sometimes. Like, man.
No, I get it. It's like, do I gotta wake up today?
I gotta say though, man, like aside from your main cast, the community itself, the acting of the community, the children, the young people, the adults, the elders, it's all so natural for them.
It's believable,
Everyone did it so naturally because it's just ingrained as an everyday part of life for them. Another day, nothing's different, and they all gave that portrayal of this commune and just how tight knit it is, even though it's secluded, with the lack of technology, with the exception of like a truck or a car. Everything else is old school, and just like they were all just these people in the woods. Like it just seems so natural.
And there's a lot of beauty in that too.
The Swedish Amish.
This community that has no distractions from each other. There's a lot of ancient beauty, like almost an antiquated. I don't want to say antiquated, but there's a lot of beauty in that as well.
Yeah. The man, I am brain farting on it. Was something Jonathan was just talking about. Never mind.
Me, words, stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna riff off what you were just saying, but I forgot it.
Sorry.
It's all right.
No, I was more distracted by my screen.
Oh.
They were burning the guy after his face issue. Oh, yeah. Okay. The community. And the community is really believable in the background. But I was reading, so it's because most of the community didn't speak English. A lot of them, there were 3 different English or languages spoken on set. So Ari Aster was trying to corral this group. I mean, I assume they spoke cursory English as much of the world does.
With some interpreters probably here.
Yes.
Right.
But like a lot of that cast was not native English speakers. So a lot of that was natural. And I think that was awesome. But yeah, the acting in this movie, do I give it a 5? I'm tempted because there's really no flaw in the performances in this movie.
That's where I'm at with it, man. I feel like Florence Poe does more than her share to carry the acting, and everyone else is serviceable at worst.
Yeah.
So I have to give it a 5.
I'm sitting at a 4 on it. I feel like that's pretty good for me.
That's pretty fair.
Hell yeah.
So then the direction. And this,
so if I may.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like
you
I'm
may,
a little
Queen.
above average of how I normally feel about direction, because normally I'm not good at coordinating my thoughts and how I talk about it. Direction, I think, was pretty amazing in this one. One of the big things, like early on, was like when they get to Sweden and they're driving there,
Mm-hmm.
that rotating, twisting scene up and over and around as they pass the Harlingsland sign, it's like kind of an indicator of passing into a different world.
Almost like you're entering the fairy tale now.
Yes.
Exactly. You know, I think that was really impactful with how he did that, especially being not just a short draw. It was a long, drawn out way of doing it with that rotation and the up and over until you get that focus back straight again when you start getting further into it. Not only that, but just everything that kind of hints to what's going to go down because of the imagery that you see, what's in the walls of the community house, what you're seeing on the tapestry, how it tells you and clues you into what's going on and what you can expect if you know to pay attention to those cues. I mean, so it's kind of already telling you what's going to go down if you know where to look.
Exactly.
And the hints of all of that are splayed out everywhere, even in the different houses, not just the community house, but when Christian goes to meet with like that elder mother woman and starts explaining like, hey, she's chosen you. We approve of you to mate with her, and the stuff, everything with even not just the runes, but everything and how it leads to telling the story itself while you're already seeing it play out, I thought was fantastic. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's my direction.
No, I'm glad. This is the difference. This is the difference between watching. Man, I'm trying to like a Howard the Duck versus this film, where Ari Aster is a superb director. And even, I hate saying that, but I have to when he's done 3 full-length movies so far. 4th one was on the way this year at the time of recording. It has not come out yet. The biggest tragedy to me is that he is straying from horror.
Yeah.
Beau is Afraid is a very dark comedy. I did not care for it, but it was impeccably directed. He did a fantastic job. I don't know what this next one's going to look like. We'll see. It doesn't sound interesting to me. Next movie takes place during COVID and uses COVID as the backbone to the story. And I'm like, I don't really care.
Man,
I don't really care.
Boy, am I not tired of dealing with COVID.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
So that's where I'm like, I'm going to wait on that one to see if it's worth my time, because I don't really care for that as a story structure. But Hereditary and Midsommar are 2 fantastic films in the genre, and both of them in their niche genres. From, I don't know what the hell you call Hereditary. It's not a possession film. It's
a family drama with possession, haunting,
ritual,
cult elements. I don't know.
Cult elements. It's insane.
Insane.
And then Midsommar, which is full core.
Almost a polar opposite, man.
Yeah. And he does the planning that has to go behind this. So you mentioned the fantastic shot that flips upside down. But there are numerous shots in this movie where the camera just doesn't cut for an extended period of time. Like when they first arrive in that field where they're doing mushrooms, they first arrive, get out of the car, and that camera like follows them and moves that, and just for minutes. And a couple things I love about that. It's incredible to watch, but it also requires the actors to stay in character more like a stage play. So extended lines, and they're moving more like a dance. And that happens with some of the rituals. So like when Florence becomes the May Queen and they put the flowers on her head and the camera pans back and everybody runs close to her. And then they bring out that pedestal, lay it down. Yeah. And then the camera comes back in and zooms in on her face, but it doesn't cut. Comes back in and lifts her up, and then we see that she's like, that is so tightly orchestrated. It's insane. To pull that off is fantastic. Like, not that it's a particularly tricky shot, but to plan that all out, to have like, okay, you 6 extras run in now, and like, that is awesome. It is a dance. It is as much of a dance for that shot as it would have been to put on a musical. You know, that arranging all of that is super impressive. And then, like Jonathan mentioned, the paintings and stuff on the wall, you pick up more every time you watch it. So like my last watch through, I picked up, there's a painting on the wall, specifically when Christian is in the shot, of a dude with wings between some girl's legs while other people stand around. And you're like, oh, this is foreshadowing.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
Yeah, there's foreshadowing everywhere. And I guarantee if I go back, and I want to get my hands on that director's cut, because I bet there's answers there. If I go back, I can find reference to every person's death in the walls at some point.
Oh, I guarantee it, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of planning that goes into that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Insane.
Centuries of process. Centuries and centuries of process in this community.
It's beautiful. It's so well thought out. I told my wife she loves Hereditary, and I think up until this week, she said like that's one of her favorite movies. Rosemary's Baby is her favorite movie because she said every time she watches it, she feels like she's going to throw up. So she loves it. But prior to Rosemary's Baby, it was Hereditary. But I think we were watching this one and we finished it and she goes, you know, I think I might like this one more than Hereditary.
Wow.
And I think it's just they're two very different vibes.
Definitely.
Hereditary feels evil. This one does less so. But I just can't praise the way he structures shots, the way he transitions scenes, the way he instructs his actors, like the way he plans out this entire film is insane. That's why this film is so good, is Ari Aster's fingerprints being all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And to choose to shoot this movie in natural lighting is honestly insane because you're battling shadows from these structures that you built. And if you cut and your shadows aren't lined up, like you basically have to shoot. If you are shooting the scene of Florence standing in this spot and you didn't get your take from 12 to 1 on day 1, you have to shoot it again day 2, assuming the lighting is the same. If there's cloud cover, you got to change it all.
Right.
Like that changes everything. That's insane. The sex scene was the final scene shot for the movie.
Damn.
And that was a very awkward scene to shoot, according to the actor, because the girl in that scene did not speak English and the guy did not speak her language.
Right.
And so it was very much like we're trying to do this the best we can, guys. But that was the final scene shot for the film.
Damn.
Save the most awkward for last.
No, I mean, fair. That's fair. Why not?
Yeah.
Man, I just feel like Aster, he has a vision and he's going to see it through. Whatever you get, like it or not, like that's his vision. There's intent behind everything. And I think there's intent in the storytelling with like the way he wants things shot. Like you mentioned, the upside down that slowly goes back right on that long drive.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that's meant to tell you that like now you're almost like getting into the fairy tale. 'Cause, you know, like you said, it's jarring at first. You have that fairy tale music, and then boom, now you're in the real world. This is sort of a way to transition you back.
Yeah, there you go.
the roots, the grass and the roots growing into Danny's flesh. You know, I feel like that's a storytelling element. This is her groping, just grasping for somewhere to belong. You know, put roots down somewhere.
Literally, yeah.
There's
That's
just so much. I mean, the tapestries. You know, the whole movie is told in the tapestries. Oh, what's up?
Oh, you said the tapestries. I realized on my recent rewatch, there's a scene before we even get to Sweden where Danny is sitting on a couch. And I don't remember whose apartment it is, if it was hers, if it was Pele's. But she's sitting on a couch and there's a painting behind her. Anyone else catch that painting?
Yeah, the bear with the girl kissing the nose of the bear.
Oh,
Yes!
wow. No,
Yes!
I did not.
There's a painting of a girl like kissing. It kind of like, if you were just watching it without knowing the full context of the movie, you're probably thinking like not Little Red Riding Hood.
Goldilocks. Goldilocks. Yeah.
Goldilocks.
Oh, okay.
You're probably thinking something fairly along those lines. Knowing the full context of the movie, that shot from the first 10 minutes of the film goes to the final scene of the film. The girl kissing the giant bear. It's just another example of like that perfect planning, execution. Yeah.
Oh, and you see that one shot of one of the murals of the bear on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
dude.
much.
You know? Oh my gosh! And then I saw some of those overhead shots from the dinner scenes, like when you've got the two elders who are about to like give their lives. You know, you see them going through the whole process, and then everyone's waiting, sitting silently, quietly, and then they finally take their drink.
Right.
And then they pick up their silverware, and then you see an overhead shot, and then everyone in conjunction going down the line, and then across in that runic symbol to like the head mother at the end of the table and the other guy, as everyone down the line picks up their stuff and starts going to dinner. And then also with Danny, after she becomes the summer queen or the May Queen, and then like everyone waiting on her patiently, and then her kind of like finally understanding, accepting her role and getting into it. And then you see everybody else on that overhead shot down the line, picking up their silverware and starting to participate in the dinner fest. You know, it's amazing stuff through all of that.
Overhead shots. Ari is the man.
Good utilization.
He just has a way with visual storytelling, and it's hard to. I can't think of his equal. Thinking about this movie, thinking about Hereditary, this guy he's an artist, man. He's an artist.
In horror, on movies, period, making movies right now, people who are artists kind of tend to fall to the horror category.
No
because
doubt.
I can think of two. Ari Aster.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of Robert Eggers. Nosferatu was insane.
Yeah.
Oh, so awesome.
So
yeah,
beautiful. Dude. Another impeccable movie. Denis Villeneuve, whatever that French name.
Mm-hmm.
People really like Dune 2. It looks really good. I don't know that I see the art as quite the same level as these two guys, but he's visionary.
Yeah.
I give him that.
Big time.
But as far as you're saying, like, no, I wish more horror was to this level. And that's what I mean. Like when I say, you tell me this is Ari Aster's second film,
right?
Get out.
It's crazy, man.
How did he get this good so fucking quick? Like, geez.
Dude, this man really just came out of the gate with Hereditary, man. And that's insane to me, dude. Like that is the most visually stunning and disturbing and impactful movie I may have ever seen, man.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And you look at him and he looks like he worked for the ID department of a tech startup. Like,
right.
He's but man, okay, let me find. So I wanted to see if I could find. I don't want trivia on Ari Aster, but Hereditary itself was one of the. I think it was the highest grossing movie for A24, which is what sent him into like the stratosphere of.
Oh well, he knocked it out of the park, and that's a movie that you can never forget once you've seen it.
I mean, that's one of the few. Hereditary is one of the few movies to like make me cry and make me want to vomit. Both. So I can't find where it says if it was the highest, but like it's what basically allowed him to be like, you want to make Midsommar? You do whatever you want.
You can do whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. He made Hereditary, and then they were like, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah,
I respect it.
2.5 hour movie shot in natural light. Go for it.
And that's another thing. The natural light, the color palette in this movie.
Yes.
I think that's another reason, because I was thinking about how you said Hereditary feels evil. It's darker, you know? It's darker subject matter also, but this movie, these people who are our would-be villains are always draped in the cleanest, purest white clothes.
Yes.
Everything is beautiful and picturesque and not the least bit dirty, even though it's basically Amish Swedish people.
The colors are vibrant, but they're not like forcibly pushed as bright colors.
Right.
It's not oversaturated.
It's not oversaturated.
Exactly.
But the palette, I feel like, the palette is very important, because I feel like all that white portrays these people as innocent. You know, this is pure. This is just what they do. There's a purity in it, an innocence to it. And I feel like that's intentional. I feel like everything Aster does is intentional and thought out more than I've thought about it. I'm gonna just drop my score. I would be remiss not to give him a 5, dude. Like, that's
how
all.
do you not?
You know?
It's a 5 for me.
I went with a 4. Which is way better than what I normally do. I'm using very average middle ground on this, since I actually had some sense of thought and feeling and direction on
You did, and you were spot on.
When y'all cover Hereditary, I want to be there, man, because I've got so much shit I want to say about Hereditary right now.
I got to give that one. That's a movie that I can't, man.
I have never seen a more guttural, gut-wrenching portrayal of grief than Toni Collette in that film.
Toni Collette, the dinner table scene.
Oh God,
hammers,
dude! Oh my God!
I gotta watch this movie.
We gotta.
Toni Collette is another level herself.
We might have to. That was an Oscar snub. The fact that she didn't.
Yes, absolutely.
Oscar snub, because Oscars didn't consider horror to be a real film until 2024, when we got The Substance. And what was the other one nominated?
Substance and hell, I can't remember.
Yeah, we got 2 horror movies, and we've had a couple, but yeah, that was a snub, because Toni Collette deserved
huge snub.
That.
I don't know if I've ever seen better acting. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't know if I've ever seen better acting than Collette in that movie, dude.
We might need to fast track that one before Halloween to get Jonathan in on Hereditary,
dude.
Because it's not a movie I like to watch, but it's also a movie I love to watch.
It's full of the same type of direction that we're talking about in Midsommar.
Yeah,
just everything
impeccable.
Is so intentional, and it's meant to be viewed multiple times, because you're just gonna miss stuff. That's just all there is to it, you know. Oh man, it's perfect. All right, I'll stop gushing.
I'm just like that
Oh.
stuck with me.
Yeah.
All right, so from direction on to the it factor and cultural significance. This one's a bit tough.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta check something. I'm
No doubt.
paranoid about my dog running around doing
No, you're good.
whatever
You're
without
good.
me watching.
You're good.
That's cool. I'll go grab a beer.
Yeah.
Like one of her lines in there even makes me feel like it's ad-libbed when she's like, that face on your face, you know what I'm talking about, at the dinner table.
I don't, because to be honest,
Okay,
the last time I watched that movie was about 3 years ago,
gotcha.
because it makes me so upset that it's not an enjoyable experience, even though I'm like, this movie's insanely well made.
The line I'm talking about always makes me kind of giggle because it's like, it's the type of thing that someone says when they're so mad that they're not good at speaking anymore.
Yeah, it's very realistic.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you say that, I think I remember having the same thought. Like, how it seems funny, but it's actually...
It's because this is how she's... Dude, it's crazy. Anyway.
Sorry about that, guys. I got paranoid. I thought I smelled dog poo, and I think maybe it's just her being gassy.
Gotcha.
She poops a lot. And I was like, please don't tell me she craps somewhere.
It is her telling you that she will need to poo soon.
Right. That's the early warnings.
Before I went to the physical therapist, so I mean, she should have been okay. So it seems like we're okay.
All right.
Oh, God, please, not again.
We are nearing the end, so we will be okay. I'm just marking down the time spot on when to edit that out. And all right, so we gave our direction. The cultural and it factor then. So this one's a little challenging.
Yeah.
I remember when this movie came out because I saw Hereditary in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I remember walking out of Hereditary, like, that was one of the movies that I needed to go home and watch, like, The Big Bang Theory for a couple hours.
Just some mindless happiness for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Bright colors and laugh tracks, please.
All day.
Yep. But then this one came out and there was a ton of hype about it and it was fairly well received. But I avoided it because of and I don't want to say bad taste Hereditary left in my mouth. The taste Hereditary left in my mouth was one that was so uncomfortable. Like, the movie succeeded massively in what it was trying to do, that I didn't see Midsommar for a long time because I didn't know if I was ready to be that uncomfortable.
Right.
So I waited a long time. But now I've watched this movie multiple times and I like it more every time. I feel like it's more accessible than Hereditary is.
Agreed.
Because the final 10 minutes of Hereditary is going to mess people up.
Mm-hmm.
And they are either going to love the movie for that or hate the movie for that.
Mess me up then.
Yeah.
So that is, like, I remember we were recently with my brother-in-law for a family thing. I think it was Easter. We were together for Easter. And he was
Perfect
like,
time.
I watched Hereditary. I didn't think it was that crazy. And I was like, you didn't think... And I proceeded to describe the scene because Jonathan hasn't seen it.
Right,
so
right.
I'll hold out. It involved a bunch of naked old people. I was like, you didn't think that was messed up? And he was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's like, maybe I need to rewatch it. It's like, yeah,
his mind blocked it out consciously to like block it out from him, so he doesn't traumatize him.
Yeah, definitely.
Traumatizing enough that he blocked it out.
Every single Ari Aster movie has senior citizens naked, so that's an all.
That's an interesting point that I hadn't thought of.
Every Beau is Afraid, Midsommar, and Hereditary. He likes the old naked people.
Good on you, Aster. Good on
you got your thing.
Get some old sausage and bushes out there.
Yep. Yeah. So it is fairly well received. I just don't know how much this movie was in like the cultural zeitgeist to be a film bro about it. But I do know now, like, of the 3 movies of Aster's, this one is tied for number 1 with Hereditary, and then Beau is Afraid is number 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion. I did not like Beau is Afraid at all. And not because I didn't like Beau is Afraid at all, because it made me uncomfortable like Hereditary did, or uncomfortable like Midsommar did. I didn't like Beau is Afraid because I thought it was pointless. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a point to it. Maybe I need to give it a second chance, but that's going to be a ways away.
Cultural significance. I feel like most of the recognition or the audience that it probably had because of Hereditary.
Yes.
That being said, I feel like it holds its own because it's very unique, and surprisingly, a lot of people that don't watch horror that I know about the movie. Like my sister knew about it only because Florence Poe is in it. A random streamer that I watch sometimes who plays a lot of really shitty horror games that are made in like Russia mentions Midsommar the other day because the game kind of looked like the people wore all white clothes and shit. It kind of, so it's like, oh shit, it's almost like Midsommar, you know? I feel like it's out there, but not as much as I initially scored it. I'll put it there.
So yeah, it's like with it factor or cultural significance, it's hard for me to give much on that one because, I mean, it makes me more paranoid about going to foreign countries, small communities than anything.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if somebody invites me to some backwoods place like this out in the middle of nowhere, I think I'm going to be extremely hesitant or wary to have any part of that because, like, man, they're going to get me. They're going to con me into something. I'm going to get roped into some shit I don't want to be in. So
double check that Airbnb listing.
Yeah, dude, for real.
It's
man.
not just the dark corners of Texas you want to worry about, bud.
Right. For sure, dude. For sure. Especially like way out in the middle of nowhere in West Texas. Oh, you never know. But how it plays into the idea of cult films, you know, communes, and how weird or quirky or off-putting that those kind of places can be because of how how isolated they are and how kept to themselves with little to no contact otherwise from the rest of what would be considered normal society and average social mores. I don't feel like there's really a big impact in that way with this, aside from just making people kind of wary of going to these outer rim places generally.
Right.
No, I think that's accurate and fair. So I contacted she'll probably hate that I brought this up. I contacted my friend from Norway and I asked her if she'd seen this movie. She didn't really care for this movie, but I was like, can you, like, I know you're in Norway, but you're neighbors to Sweden. That's much closer than I am. Can you tell me anything? And she was like, well, I'm not Swedish. And I was like, she didn't say that exactly, but I'm like, I know, but I want to know, like, it is based on a lot of real festivals.
Mm-hmm.
It's just those horror elements are added for the film. But I wanted to know, like, how are there similar, like, rural, like, we have Amish in America.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Amish. Does Sweden?
Dutch.
Yeah. Does Sweden have this? Like, not smashing people with mallets at 72, right. But do they have things like this in Norway and Sweden and those Scandinavian areas? I think that is super fascinating. I want to know. But yeah, so I'm at a 3 on the cultural significance for this.
That's where I'm comfortable with too. I started to say 4, but thinking on it more, I got to come down a little. So I'm going to go 3.
So I'm also at a 3, but when I think about it now even a little more about that rural isolated community thing, it makes me think back to Metalocalypse on Adult Swim and how Toki Wartooth came from Norway out in the middle of nowhere, and his weird religion, like isolated community family, and how dark that was. Yeah, it's a cartoon.
And also the
it came out way before this came out, but still it's got some kind of like dark similar elements in a little way.
And if you remember the cartoon. Swedish, when they go to Sweden and they wake up the lake troll, they're in that Swedish village that I guess it knocked the power out, but the village doesn't look like it would have had power anyway. And they're like, no, you got to play these acoustic instruments to put it back to sleep.
It's a grandpa's guitar.
Murderface. They open the door and show him, and the first thing Murderface says is, "What are those things? Chairs?"
How do you remember things? My brain doesn't work that way. My sister can quote The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine all day long.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, you remember this scene when they say this exact thing and this? And I'm like, no. But that sounds like it's real, so go for it. And I've seen both of those shows. My brain just, like, I can't remember names. I can barely remember lines unless it's, like, music that I've heard 10 or 15 times. That's when I start remembering things. My brain, I can remember an image, though. If you tell me, like, oh, do you remember that shot? I'm like, yes, I do. Can I tell you what was said in that scene? No, I can't.
The music, it connects in my brain for me with a lot of weird stuff like that, Awaken, Mr. Krakish, the troll.
I just remember, was it Metalocalypse, or is Death Clock related to Metalocalypse?
Death Clock is the band in Metalocalypse.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just
Brendan
remember
Small and his amazing fucking mind and his amazing music skills.
Okay.
Love it,
my buddy in high school used to play the Do You Folks Like Coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Coffee, Duncan Hill's coffee jingle.
He used to play that all the time. That's still, I'll get that in my head every now and then.
I used to be able to play a part of that, because like if you get the DVD for Metalocalypse, there's extras in there where they've got it animated where Squizgar Squiggle shows you how to play the Duncan Hill's coffee jingle. And I was like, that is so fucking awesome. And I would sit there and play it over and be playing along with the tabs, trying to like get that shit down. Oh my God, it was so much fun.
Y'all know what my favorite episode is? What? The one where they learn to play the blues and they go to southern Mississippi and meet Mashed Potato Johnson. And he's like, he's like trying to get him to play like this slow, bendy, soulful sounding, like just one strum. Bow, bow.
But those riffs,
the cinder blocks tied to their fingers and shit.
All they can do is play fast, dude. They're just like
hits himself in the nuts with the bricks. Like,
I'm a sucker for some bluesy metal, though. You get those blues, you get that blues in the hard rock, and I'm weak in the knees.
Yeah, dude. All that sludgy stoner shit, man. Yeah, dude.
Stoner doom metal, slow, deep, heavy. Oh yeah.
crowbar, acid
Slow,
bath.
deep, heavy. That's how they describe me. All right. So,
On that note,
Good time.
in Factor, how entertained were you, gentlemen?
I'm sitting at a 9.
I'm sitting
baby.
on a 9 also.
It's a 9 for me.
The first time I saw this, I would have said it's a 10, but although there's a lot of rewatch value
went down.
in this, although there's a lot of rewatch value in it, it doesn't have the same impact as the first couple of times. And at this point, I've seen this more than a handful. I'm not sure exactly how many.
Okay. So I'm gonna. The only reason I'm not gonna say you're wrong. The only reason. So first time I watched this, it probably would have been like a 7.
Oh wow.
I'm at a 9 now because those rewatches are when I pick up on the brilliance of the production.
Right.
And that makes me appreciate it more. It still gives me that just uncomfortable feeling. And each time I rewatch it, I pick up a little bit more on, strangely, the beauty of it.
Yeah.
As far as appreciating a different culture entirely from my own. There's, growing up, taught about Aztecs and Incas and whatever, and the human sacrifices. And it's just made out to be this horrific point in history. But what if it wasn't portrayed that way? What if it was portrayed the way Ari Aster did here?
Right.
And
there's no doubt that those people had beauty in their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sacrifice was a normal part of their culture.
Right.
That was an everyday thing. It wasn't something they sweated on, and they accepted those roles.
And so,
seems like most likely.
I think that's kind of what Ari's trying to shed some light on, is the beauty in different cultures. While we see and what they're doing is horrific, there's beauty in these things, and how they arrived at these isn't barbaric.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, we want blood, sacrifice the elders. Like, that's not it.
Right.
So there's beauty in that I didn't pick up on the first time. And each time I rewatch it, I see more of this beauty, more of this intentional set design, more and more. And I'm at the point now, I'm about to go track down that 27-minute longer director's cut because I want to know more of all of this. And I don't know if the director's cut makes it a better movie or not. It's a great movie as is, but it has grown on a rewatch. Right now, the only reason it's a 9 for me is because while I'm saying I'm about to go get the longer version, this version is too long.
Yeah, it is long. And
I'm at the point in my life where I would rather watch 2 90-minute movies than one 3-hour movie.
Yeah, I get that. Same. I that's long movies, bro. Oh man.
Yep. Like, I love them.
Me too.
But when it comes to that total enjoyment factor, man, give me what was it? Was it Turtles was like a solid 92 minutes? I'm like, yep,
just
perfect.
So perfect. Yeah.
give me a perfect 92-minute movie, and I can move on with my life.
But see, I was so drawn and immersed in watching the story and what was playing out. I didn't even think about the time, and it didn't really register to me.
Right.
I remember starting the movie and being like, "Oh shit, this is a long ass movie," being like 2 hours and 20 some odd minutes. Like, oh god, this is going to take a while. But once I got into it, it just not even there.
Well, that's the power of pacing. That's the power of pacing, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like he just knows how to pace a movie. You know.
He keeps you interested in what's happening at all times, whether it is the trauma of the sister's story at the beginning, the discovery of this culture's practices it's really kind of divided into 4 sections. In
like
section
the seasons.
2, And then, because
that.
there's not really, I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about story. There's not the traditional 3 arcs in this movie. We have the beginning that gets us to Sweden. We have the arrival to,
Haagen-Dazs.
Introduction to the community. And
and then
setting.
we get that's right. I'm trying to think of when the first couple disappears. Then we have from the first couple disappearing to the crowning of the May Queen, and then we have the end of the movie. And so, there's not really a definable. Somebody else might be able to be like, oh, there's actually a perfect representation of 3 arcs. Like, okay. It's your scholarly article on filmbro.com.
Right.
But anyways, what was I saying before that? I just went on a tangent.
Space.
Oh, you were rolling, dude. I was just letting you go.
Okay, I just enjoy this movie. I enjoy this movie more every time I see it. Honestly, it's the same with Hereditary. I enjoy it more every time I see it, even though Hereditary and Rosemary's Baby are 2 of the movies that still just I've said it for years. Horror should do 2 things. Be entertaining or get under your skin.
Yeah.
And this movie, Hereditary, Rosemary's Baby, those fall under the categories that manage to do both. It gets under the skin and it stays there. And the clarification on be entertaining, Friday the 13th, entertaining. Doesn't get under my skin, but I have a fun time watching that movie. So that's the difference. That's the clarification on that. Hereditary, it gets under my skin. So this one, it manages to get under my skin, but be a more enjoyable ride.
I get that. I get that for sure.
All right, so time to tally up then, I guess?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to need your help with that there,
I'm sitting
Tim.
at a 41.
You are sitting at a 41?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I am sitting... Let me do my math here real quick.
Numbers. Ooh.
Numerical reference.
Should have done my math before this. Ricky, did you see yours?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I am sitting at a 45.
Whoa. I got 44.
There we go. So 46, 45, and 44?
41.
41.
Oh, 41.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Don't you put numbers in my mouth.
Man, my bad. I was about to be like, this average is real easy, guys.
Right.
So let me put it into my handy-dandy calculator here, and we're going to get this exact.
Did we get any other feedback from anybody else about this?
No, we did not.
Sadness.
We did not.
Y'all,
we're at a
tripping,
43 point. We still have, guys, if you're listening, we are recording this Wednesday night, April 30th. We got lots of time till October.
Hey, y'all know what tomorrow is, right?
No.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. All right, so our average is 43.3333, rounded up to 45 out of 50, 4.5 stars, making this movie a great option for your movie party, whatever gatherings you want to do with it.
Watch it with your grandparents.
It makes it an amazing option, actually.
Watch it with your friends and decide who is what main character that gets killed. Yeah. Be like, oh, you're going to be this person. You're this person. No, this is totally you. You're going to get whacked.
I like Ricky. Watch it with your grandparents, especially if they're like 80.
Right. Or before they get to that point, be like, we're looking at options, Grandpa. You
or
know?
what about there's 71? And you said,
What do you
So,
think about what do you think about such and such nursing home? Okay, well, what do you think about Midsommar?
It's
yeah.
like, how does this cliff look to you?
You want to become a Haga? What?
Harga.
Harga? Yeah, that's an option for you.
Hargensland.
Yeah, man.
Hagen. I still like the Haagen-Dazs. Vanilla ice cream. All right. Jonathan, you got the outro ready?
I certainly do, sir.
Okay. So, Ricky, thank you so much for joining us for the Halloween episode of our folk horror 13 Nights of Halloween.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
I can't wait to come back for Hereditary.
Yeah, that'll probably, if we do her, we can talk about it, but that'll probably come out before this.
Coming to you from the future.
From the future. That's fine with me.
That would be sick.
So yeah. Where can people find you, Ricky? What's going on?
Well, I'm from the Nightclub Podcast, and you can find us on Apple, Spotify, Fireside, anywhere except YouTube. We're not on there yet. But anywhere you can listen to podcasts, we're there. And we'd love to have you check it out.
Definitely do. It's hilarious and it's a blast.
Yeah, we like to have fun. That's all it is. The Nightclub Podcast, where horror comes to party. There you go. I said the thing.
You said the thing.
Travis will be happy. I said the thing.
Yeah. All right, and just like that, our daylight dance through Midsommar brings us to the end of the road.
That's right. 13 nights, 13 films, folk horror, witchy rituals, cursed woods, angry scarecrows, and so much blood-soaked weirdness. We've covered it all.
From The Witch to Pumpkinhead, The Wicker Man to Blair Witch Project, and tonight's grand finale. What a lineup.
Hell yeah, man.
We want to give a huge thank you to everyone who tuned in, joined the discussion, submitted scores, and celebrated the creepy season with us. We love doing this, and your support is what makes it worth it all.
Seriously, whether you've been with us from episode 1 or just jumped in this season, we're grateful for every listen, every like, and every share. And now we want to hear from you. Out of all 13, which movie was your favorite? Let us know over on Instagram or YouTube. Comment your winner. Comment your rating from the score system that we have in our Instagram. Or maybe the movie that messed you up the most.
And hey, if you're listening to this on Halloween night, stay safe out there. Whether you're partying with your coven, handing out candy to future final girls, or just watching horror movies in the dark, have a great night. Eat some candy, lock your doors, maybe don't follow any mysterious flower trails into the woods.
That sounds like a good idea. That wraps up our 13 Nights of Halloween and the end of season 3. Thank you for spending it with us here at The Average. We'll be back next year with more movies, more laughs, and probably more obscure cult movies than anyone asked for.
So until then, stay spooky, stay safe.
And last thing before I go, head over to Amazon. Timothy James. At this point, I have 2 books up there for your spooky season. You can find my first one, The Harvest of Briarville, which came out early this year in January.
So awesome.
Rural horror story. Kid goes to a farm and encounters more than he expected there. Really small, intimate story. But then my new one just came out last month. And that is Like, Comment, Survive.
I love that title.
Footage horror story told through transcripts, text message threads, and not traditional prose, but about YouTube ghost hunters who get exclusive access to a new location and encounter more than they bargained for.
Nice.
So head over to Amazon, find those, give those a read. And thanks for tuning in to The Average, where the real review happens with your friends.